In this video, we're going to go over the beginner mistakes I made throughout the past years of trading, how I overcame them, and how you can too. This is going to be a value-packed video, so don't go anywhere. And if you haven't already, subscribe, click that thumbs up. Let's get started. So number one, and this really goes with anything in life, and that is you got to admit your mistakes. If you don't admit your mistakes and aren't aware of your mistakes, how can you overcome them? How can you go past those if you don't even know what you need to change, what you need to learn from, what you need to stop doing, right? So, number one, admit your mistakes, whether that's through journaling, reflecting on your trades, and just spending time analyzing what you have done. When people start trading, they just trade, enter trade, and then they're like 10, 12 trades through a trading session and they don't even look at any. One, they have a lot of trades. Two, they're not even going to look at them. And maybe they're red on the day, maybe they're break even, maybe they had a little bit of profit. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. You still need to analyze your trades and figure out what went right, what went wrong. Okay, take note of this. And then if those patterns of what went wrong keep showing, well, now you know. Let's work on that. Let's get rid of that, and my trading should improve. Number two is stop worrying about being rich. I know there's so many clickbait videos and everyone showing I made this on a trade, I did this, and I did this, and all that, right? Stop worrying about getting rich because you need to worry about the process, the system, the strategy. You need to focus on that 100% because if you don't do that, the profits will never come. The market is, in a way, the people that are gonna do well, that have their system, have their strategy, are taking the money because it's a plus or minus game, right? So they're taking the money from all the people that don't have a plan that works, don't have a strategy that works, that are just gambling, right? So you need to stop worrying about being rich, focus and fall in love with the process, with the markets, start to study over and over, year after year after year. And it never ends because the market always is moving on and changing and the world's changing. So you need to stay a lifetime student of the markets and keep adapting with them, with the seasonalities, time of day, all that stuff, right? So focus on the process. Number three, check the news calendars in the morning. Before you start trading, whatever time you trade, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but before you start your trading time, your session, you're going to sit down and actually take trades. Just review the calendar. How many level 1 news are there? Level 2 news or level 3, which would be the high impact. Some other sites use colors. So like what are the yellow news, what's the orange news, and what's the red news, which is high impact. Now the level 1 and 2 will help kind of move the market a little bit, but we're really worried about the red, the high impact, the level 3 news if you use TradingView. And I could show you that real quick. So this down here, calendar, you open that up and you could see level 1, level 2. So now we know this is my time in the Pacific. While I'm sleeping, we got some news coming out tomorrow. And for the trading session, 6:45, looks like PMI final is going to be announced. Forecast is less than prior, so something to keep in mind. And sometimes these numbers don't really mean what the market's going to do. So you would think maybe goes down, but no, it's anything could happen. Just know that this time we might get some big candles and it may go one way and then it might come right back. We don't know the outcome, but just know these times price is likely to move a little more aggressively, so be ready. So number 4 is position size, and you need to have that part of your strategy. How much dollar amount or what percent of the account are you going to risk? Now, me with prop firm trading, I try to stay with a consistent risk. I don't really scale with the account because I just with the trailing threshold and only like the minimum you could lose, I don't even want to scale up my risk, because unless I'm really, really far away from my trailing stop, like I grew the account way past, then I could start focusing on that. But with these accounts, with that trailing risk going up to break even for Apex, and then you have to make your money above that, and then you withdraw, right? So I'm just sticking with one contract, and I'm sticking with minimal risk, whether it is 10, 20, maximum 30 points. I don't like to go to 30, but that is my system. One contract. We're just going to stick with that. Even if the accounts grow, that's fine. I'm just here to compound those accounts, get profit out, compound accounts, get profit out, put that money in my long term, put that money in my personal futures account, and start growing that way for myself in the future. So general rule of thumb is about 1%, although when I am trying to pass an Apex challenge, I will scale up the risk because I just want to pass it, right? There's no need to baby the account. Like, let's find a good setup. Let's double down on it. Let's lock in profit as quickly as we can. Let's try to pass, use an aggressive stop loss, get to break even so we don't lose money, and we're just trying to pass, right? So I'm using my same system, but way more aggressive for the challenge. Then once we get funded, I'm just sticking with one contract. Again, what I told you, 10, 20, maximum 30 point stop loss. And we're trying to get price to go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 points down. And we're going to trail that down until we have hit the profit we would like to make, making sure we try to stay within that 30% rule and try to make Apex happy, close the trade, just take what the market gives us and move on, right? So everyone's risk is a little bit differently, but make sure it is part of your strategy. Spend time to find that position size you're comfortable with, that you know if you lose a couple times, you're not going to blow the account up, and then just adapt it from there. Number 5 is don't trade all day long. And for me, with the indicator we have, let me turn them back on for you. Available down below, plus the full trading suite. So you get all the courses about this strategy, as well as the indicator access. And then you also get access to our investing videos that we have a couple posted, but we're doing a lot more. So we're going to turn on the hot zone lines. All right. So now I'm not trading all day long. My main session is from here to here. Okay. So this is the only time of day in this entire market that I care about. I reference this time, but I'm only trading this time. And then on top of that, really, I'm trading this time. So most of my trades are going to happen within this green box. And usually within this green box right there, about 12:30. Usually don't trade till close. Try to get done earlier. So this green box and this green box, those are my main time frames that I'm trading. This session, this zone. So from here is about an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes I do a little bit earlier, but for the main part, once this gray line kicks off, we get our 15-minute range. Game on. Let's find it. Now there's exceptions when I can't get a profit here and price has been chopping around. So maybe there's no setup, or maybe I took a loss and it's just kind of ranging. Then and only then I will stick around for this, because usually this has a little more trend when this chops around. And this is a perfect example. This is just the last day of trading. So you can see I would have stuck around. Maybe have taken this trade right here and got my money in left, or waited, got my money left, whatever, right? Then PM session. Now, if I have good profits here, I'm going to be more aggressive in the PM, just try to lock in profits. let's not take away anything from our profits in the morning or lose very, very small, right? You can see here it kind of just chopped around, but there was a little bit of moves to be profited on, but nothing great. You can see the sells right here. So know what time you're going to trade, stick to the plan, and then there are always exceptions. There's not one rule that's 100% always. There's exceptions, and you need to know through time and time again, day after year, you find and learn when exceptions could arise, and you start to test them, like I noticed about price action right here. Number 6, you got to prepare for commission costs. So you're going to want to place a trade, just one contract, open, close. Now you could leave it as a real trade, but after you just trade one contract, open and close, go into your Tradeovate or wherever you're trading, if it's rhythmic, and look at your profit, like how much that trade made, and then commissions. So you can see the commissions are taken away from that profit, and then you're left with what you actually have. So you want to know what that commission price is, because if you're scalping, say you're on the MNQ and you're doing like 20 of those contracts, well, the commissions are going to be really high. When if you just took 2 NQ contracts, commissions would have been way lower. And say you were scalping or you got stopped out at break even, well, now because you did 20 MNQ contracts, the commissions were way higher, and now you're negative money even though it was a break even trade. Or if you did NQ and you were just above break even, boom, contracts are covered. You made $1-2 positive on top of that. So know the commission costs, know what it costs to play the game, and whether you're doing prop firms or your own account, just be aware that you can't just trade for free. And that also helps you take less trades and better trades, because you know if you just keep trying to scalp the market, commissions are going to eat you up and you're not going to have as much profit as you really thought you were making, right? Number 7, super easy, right? Know the basics. And it's not that maybe you know the basics and you are super advanced now, but time after time again, I come back to the basics, be aware of the basics, and then implement that into my strategy. One I could give you real quick example would be my continuation setup. So say we are in a trade, the signal fires off, pulls back. Maybe we don't take it because guess what? We're not out of the 15-minute range yet. We're waiting for this to come out. Now we have another pullback and then a breakout. So what we could have done is this low here to this low here. And now we're comfortable once this candle closes and we start to push below it. Maybe we entered on this wick. This is like a bear flag, right? We consolidated, price slowly, kind of generally grinded up. We broke through that. Indicator still red. We're all good for shorts, below VWAP, below pivot point, morning range, everything lined up. Could have taken this short down to this low or whatever. If you just trail it till we get out, and then you would have been down here on the indicator, right? So basics. Have this advanced system, but this basic type of pattern helps you identify when it's good to get back in, because we just chopped around, right? Price was generally moving up. So know the basics. If you already know them, go back to them and see how the basics can be implemented in your strategy to really just clean up your strategy and start to hone in exactly how to navigate the markets with your system and be more confident in the system. Number 8, and this one is, there's a lot to learn. So you got to be a student of the platform. So if you're using Tradeovate, spend time learning what Tradeovate could do, what features it has. Maybe you learn something new over there that you like and you want to use. Or if you're on TradingView, learn about all the indicators here, the drawing tools, alerts, back testing, adding your account, all that stuff. learn the platforms, be comfortable placing trades, navigating around, doing your markup, because that's only going to help you when you're live in the market do things quickly so you're not rushing like and then you miss your trade, right? Get your platform in and out, get comfortable, move quickly, do the markup you need, get ready so by the time your trade comes, you're able to get in and execute and play your system out. Number 9 is don't hold losses unless long-term investing. So what that means is you need a defined risk, a defined loss amount, and when it gets there, accept it and just be grateful that you're not losing more money, right? Like that predefined risk, made sure you only lose that. You're not going to lose any more. Can't win every trade, right? I know it's easier said than done, but accept that loss, reassess the market, find your new setup, wait for it to form, wait for it to execute, get in, trade again, and see what happens, right? Now, if you're long-term investing, the goal over there is to buy good stocks, buy good indexes, be diverse enough where everything in the long run, in theory, obviously nothing's 100% correct, should snowball, whether it's from growing as a company year after year, or they pay out dividends and they're either break even on the stock wise, like the percent change, or they grow just a little bit, but because of those dividends compounding, you're actually snowballing that account where it's going to get more and more and more and more from dividends, and hopefully that stock grows a percent or two or stays minimally at break even, right? So there's different strategies. You got your fast growing ones, you got your dividend ones that kind of are stable, and then you have your indexes, and if you want to do gold, silver, all that stuff. So be diverse, build a long-term portfolio of great things that proven over time, even if they have a down year, they usually recover and they're pretty safe to invest in. Obviously, nothing's 100%, but those you're going to want to hold because we're in there for 5, 10 years. We're not here to day trade that account. We're here to build a snowball that is going to keep getting bigger and bigger from you adding money, but also from that snowball, the dividends, the growth, and it just gets bigger, 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 bigger until goal is to live off of that, where the money it earns is less than you or more than you need to live with. So that snowball keeps growing and you just don't run out of money, right? Obviously, that's down the road, but the better you're at it today and investing into that today, the better that snowball will have to grow and grow quicker than later. All right. Number 10 is know the rules of the prop firm and your broker. I do have a little story to go with this one, but every prop firm is different. So know what it takes to pass, what it takes to get a withdrawal, what it takes to lose an account, what it takes to get banned. Learn that. Learn the system, whether you're on YouTube, just reading the rules. Just take time to learn because you might be doing something and then you go to take a payout and they're like, no, you're not going to get a payout. That's not how we want traders to trade over here. And some people get mad at that, but it's a company. They are choosing to give these accounts to people who trade like this. And if you can't trade like this, well, they don't want you over there trading. They don't have to give you an account. They don't have to fund you. So don't get mad at them. You didn't want to play their game, so go find a different prop firm or fund your own account. So story time. This kind of goes with knowing your platform, but also the rules of the broker and stuff. I left. I had I entered. Let's say we took this trade. I entered. Stop loss up here. Take profit down here somewhere. And I was trailing it, right? And let's say I trailed it really aggressive and this wick took me out, right? I had it at this high. I left this stop loss in there, this this buy limit. I left that in there because I'm out of the trade, right? But I forgot to close this order. So now I got triggered in. I don't know I'm in a short or a buy. Price went up. Again, not aware. And then price went down. They margin called me. And yeah, I went from being up like 140% on that account to being down 20% in the red just because of that one contract I forgot to close out. And I literally just blew all that profit I made in the week and lost 20%. So just be aware of everything. What I'm doing now is if we go into, just say we're in our logged into our account, if I go to orders, I could see working orders here and I could close them out, make sure everything's closed. Or if you're on Tradeovate, you could do exit and cancel at market or all. Click that and then your groups will flatten. So be aware of that and just you gotta stay on your toes. You gotta keep your eyes open. This is a game you gotta be sharp on. You can't just slip up and expect to keep winning. Number 11, and this is super hard. I'm telling you, this is the hardest thing of trading and really life. A lot of these lessons from trading go hand in hand with life, and it's something you gotta learn, and it'll help both in life and your trading. And that is don't let your emotions control your trading. I know it sounds so easy, but I'm telling you, I struggle with this sometimes too. I'll be really up on the account. Say we're on a 50K, we're at 5,300. We're good enough for a payout, and then I just jump in a trade for some reason. I I should just leave that account alone, move over to just a challenge account, trade that, or go to paper trading, just change that. But because I'm such on a high of making money and I'm like, wow, I pulled $1,000 today. Now imagine if I just do that again or half of that again. Now that's another 500 or potentially 1,000. And then you end up losing. Then now you're down 200 and you're like, well, I need to get in trade and get back to where I was. Maybe you lose again. Now you're down 600, 1,000. And you kind of spiral out of control. And again, I'm guilty of this. It's usually after I get a payout from account. I'm like, okay, I got my minimum payout. We stuck to the rules. We got approved. Cool. What I'm doing is working. And then I go, okay, so I have 8 days of trading before I could get another payout. So now I'm like, okay, instead of 500, let's grow the account even more so I could get 1,000 this time. And that mindset right there, me getting emotional, saying, okay, I made 500, let's push harder, let's increase risk, is what usually blows up my PA accounts, my live accounts where I could actually pull money out, right? Is the emotions. I feel like I did it. It's easy now. I'm going to do it again, but even more aggressive, and it's going to be even more money. No, doesn't work that way. So it's really hard. There's a lot of things I do, from reading the Bible to doing journal prompts. I have like this book that has questions and you just write for 5 minutes. Or I go on YouTube, look at people more successful from me. Not their like clickbait videos, but go find like an interview or them just talking to you, whatever. Like see how they act, what they are as a person, what they're doing, and learn from that to get you back on track and then pushing forward, get you snap out of your emotions. And you got to think right. You got to think logically when trading. It's the emotions will ruin you, not only internally, but your dollar amount as well. Number 12, and this is the last little beginner mistake that I have learned over the years, and something that I really still need to embed in my head going into 2025, 2026, 2027. And that is not every trade will be a home run. You can't do a 3 reward to 1 risk every time. You can't do 10 reward to 1 risk, right? Like those happen. And let's say I held on from here and say we took it there, put the stop up here. And let's just say we perfectly timed just before the pivot point. Well, this is a 3 reward to 1 risk. And yeah, that looks great, right? But that's not going to happen every time. Like I said, I probably would have been stopped out either in this chop or down here when this pulled back. So somewhere down here. And that would have only been basically a 1-to-1. And obviously I'm trailing my stop, more aggressive. But that's okay. Like, that's still a winning trade. I still made money. I'm cool with that. Like, obviously my big picture hitting this pivot point didn't play out, and where I trail my stop did get hit, but we got money here. Now we do that type of setup again. Like, we're below the VWAP, we're below the morning range. We want to curl back down to a sell, and you just kind of find where price has been bouncing but not really passing, and we draw this line out, and then boom, above this high. Same thing, would have wanted this pivot point, would have been 2.5, but my strategy would have either got me out here if I'm aggressive, or up here if I just stuck to what the indicator is telling me to trail. And boom, that's money, that's profit. There's 2 winning trades. Obviously, my main idea was not played out, but the setup gave us money, and we were able to capture that money, lock in the money, and that's it. Like, that's the name of the game. Have that plan, but the plan's not always going to work out. There's not always going to be that perfect entry, perfect take profit, just like a big runner, right? But we could identify what the market's likely to do, get in, and try to get as much money from what it's likely to do as we can. And when it decides it's going to change, that's all right. We locked in our money and we move on. So that's something I'm really focusing on, is take these wins that the market gives you and don't hold on. Now imagine if I held on, I trailed, it's kind of a bad idea, but let's say here, let's say we were short and we went short, right? We stopped, we put our stop above this high, and we were looking like, okay, well, we should probably go through this low if we're going to short, right? Okay. Now imagine I held on. Great setup, right? Below VWAP, everything besides the time. I don't trade this time, but for this example, everything looks good. We had that breakout to the downside. Boom, we're in the short. Look at all this money we could have made, could have locked in money. Even here when it rebounds, we could have locked in money, right? But if we were just holding for a home run and trying to hit our main target because we're so stubborn, we want this low to be broken, now we just took a full loss. And we were so far in the money. You gotta lock in profits. So if I were to lock in profits, one is the cloud, so we could have at least made this much money on this trade. Or if I'm being a little more aggressive, I find highs of candles. This candle broke. Okay, so now the stop's down to that wick. This broke again. So now I'm right above this high. And then we get stopped out down here, right? This is what I'm talking about. You got to stay active in the market. You got to manage your trades, and you can't just find a setup, place it, and hope for the best, right? That your main target gets hit. No. You got to get in there. You got to be aware of what the market's doing. Be honest with yourself. Where should price not go past if we're continuing lower, right? And that's going to keep changing. So this initial setup, we don't want price above here. Otherwise, we want to be out. Now, once price broke these lows and moved down, okay, well, where do we want price? I would probably put my stop here now, kind of where this chop is. I don't want price to go back above this. Boom, broke this low. Okay. Now I'm really locking in profit. This big wick, I don't want price to come back up here now. So now the stop loss is here. And we just play the game, or you trail the cloud, and whatever you're left with, you're left with. So this was a longer video. I really wanted to just kind of give you everything I have learned the past couple years in a short video. Well, 30 minutes is not too short, but wanted to talk about it. Wanted to give examples where examples were needed so you could see. And I really hope this was a value packed video. This is the first video of 2025. We rebranded. We're JS Trades now, more personal brand versus just a brand. Links down below if you want this indicator. You want to go into the trading and investing suite where we teach you the system, not only the indicator, but other indicators we use on the charts, the logic behind them, the full system. When you day trade, profits, long-term investing, and also mindset development, all that in our trading and investing suite. Link down below. We'll give you access to the trading view indicator within 48 hours, but we also give you the source code. So if you're a little handy, you could just add the code in your trading view charts instantly as soon as you get access and use the indicator right away. So hope this helped you out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click that thumbs up, and let's have a great 2025. Let's get our payouts. Let's keep getting funded with accounts. Let's grow our long-term investing accounts. Let's grow our personal futures trading accounts, and let's kill it this year. I know you can do it. Stick to the plan. Keep learning, keep developing. I'm doing that. I'm going to keep growing, and let's make 2025 our year. Peace.